My name is Bobbi Linkemer, and I'd like to tell you something about my own books. A number of them are specifically for writers and authors, and if you are among them, I hope you will find them useful in your career. The most recent addition to the list, Contacts, Connections, Collaboration, Building Your Business Through Relationships, is co-authored with my friend Karen S. Hoffman, who seems to know everyone in the world and makes it her mission to connect them with each other. There is a logical path from meeting someone for the first time, whether by intention or by chance, to turning that contact into a deeper connection that leads to collaborating on something you both care about. This book will guide you on that path, as well as introduce you to many generous traveling companions. If you want to write for a living, especially as an author or freelancer, the next 8 books are meant for you. They address many aspects of the writing life. All of them are in ebook format, and the first 3 are also in print. They are all available on Amazon. How to Write a Nonfiction Book from Planning to Promotion in 6 Simple Steps has evolved over 7 years into its present form. This comprehensive how-to manual takes you from testing your idea to seeing your book on Amazon. Going Solo, How to Survive and Thrive as a Freelance Writer, covers 3 fundamental aspects of the freelance life: what it takes to be a freelancer, whether you should try to be all things to all people or specialize in a subject or genre, and how to find balance in your business life and between your business life and your real life, assuming you also have a real life. If you think the writing life is glamorous, romantic, and lucrative, Words to Live By will give you a slightly different perspective. Reflecting on a career that began in the late 60s and is still going strong, this book shares the highs and lows as well as the lessons learned over 40 years of writing for a living. The Book of 5, Everything Authors Need to Know About Nonfiction Books, is a collection of easy-to-follow lists for writers of nonfiction books. The book is divided into 8 sections every author should know about before you write your first book, from advice for new and aspiring authors who want to excel at your craft to debunking popular myths about book writing. In 37 brief chapters, The Skillful Writer, What Separates the Pros from the Amateurs. Every chapter begins with a quote from a best-selling author or a well-known expert in his or her field. These quotes are all used as inspiration for each section on some aspect of skillful writing. Writing is a creative endeavor, but as an author, it is only 1/3 of your job. The Prosperous Author, The Business of Writing Books, explains why if you don't pay attention to the other 2/3, you may be out of business before you know it. Your other roles are managing the day-to-day administration and business details and letting the world know about your book or books. How to Write an Online Course, From Concept to Completion, One Step at a Time, describes the saga of what it took to create and produce How to Write, Publish, and Promote a Nonfiction Book, an online course for aspiring writers. For one thing, it took many do-overs. For another, it took years. There are all kinds of webinars and online instructions for doing this now, but there weren't then. This is a journal of overcoming obstacles and discovering solutions. If you think being a ghostwriter is the best possible way to earn your living as a writer, there are some things you should know. The savvy ghostwriter shares not only the secrets of an invisible author, but also guides you through everything you should know if you still decide this is the career for you. The next 16 books were written earlier in my book writing career and may be difficult to access, but they demonstrate how broad and varied nonfiction book writing can be, as well as how to turn one book into more than one product. The first 3 books I ever wrote were small enough to fit in a shirt pocket. They were on how to run a meeting, polishing your professional image, and how to write an effective resume. Each one was only 50 pages long, but together they led to a new aspect in my career. How to Run a Meeting was the catalyst for writing How to Plan and Run Productive Meetings, a 193-page, 8.5 by 11 in small type, self-study course for the American Management Association. Amicom Books, American Management Association's publishing arm, became my first steady publisher by assigning me to write The Secretary's Secret Weapon: Arm Yourself for Success with 7 Essential Communication Skills, a book for secretaries and administrative assistants. This book had a second life as Secretaria Eficiente when it was translated into Portuguese. It was born a third time as an audio tape and workbook program published by the Training Department, another arm of the American Management Association. Its fourth incarnation was in the form of Shop Talk, 6 Ways to Get Your Message Across at Work, which was a rewritten and self-published version of The Secretary's Secret Weapon. Amicom New Media, a division of Amicom, asked me to write Publish Your People Skills, which I developed and wrote based on those 4 words. I co-authored Get Organized, my second book for Amicom New Media, with Renee Richards. We never met because she lived in South Africa, and this was a long time before the internet as we know it today. But somehow the partnership worked anyway. Let's Talk, People with Developmental Disabilities Speak Out, published by Life Skills Foundation in St. Louis, Missouri, was my first introduction to the world of disabilities. It came out about the same time as the passage of the Americans with Disability Act was passed by Congress. Change is Good was another chance to tackle the subject of developmental disabilities, this time published by the Missouri Planning Council for Developmental Disabilities. Its purpose was to make the case for integrating young adults with developmental disabilities into the larger community. Dealing with Difficult People, published by Marshall Editions in London, taught me how to write to fit an existing interior design. If there was too much copy, I had to cut. If there was not enough, I had to create more. Marshall Editions partnered with Amicom Books to produce Solving People Problems, which was the American version of Dealing with Difficult People. It was supposed to include a segment specifically about American law as it relates to termination and EEO. But unfortunately, it fell a bit short of that objective. Leadership Essentials and Self-Empowerment were both 6-hour audiobooks for which I wrote the scripts. Usually, these programs had a narrator and a couple of actors, but I decided to create a plot and characters to move each story along. These were fun, even though I'd never written scripts before. I'd like to say just a few words about my background. I am a book coach, ghostwriter, editor, and the author of all of the books in this presentation. I have been a professional writer for more than 46 years, a magazine editor and a book writing teacher. My clients include Fortune 100 companies, entrepreneurs, and individuals who want to write books in order to enhance their credibility or build their businesses. I have worked with more than 25 authors to bring their books to fruition. It's hard to say which I like best, helping authors write their books or writing my own, but I am fortunate enough to be able to do both.